something which I feel, and I hope Sue would agree with me as well, that it gets forgotten. We get so bogged down, we're very busy, we're very stressed some of the time as well, and actually I've got quite a lot to do, ever increasing amounts of things to do in early years, I feel, and I think actually fundamental to everything that we do is that play, is that work that children do, and they're just as busy as we are, and I think it's really important to recognise just how important that is. So hopefully a good start, we can all agree on something at least from today. So yeah, so some of the aims of today, so it's not going to be a training session, so it's not going to be very aim and objective focused, but we're going to sort of look at and defining what play is, because I think we sometimes do forget what that is. Look at some of the characteristics of play as well, and to explore play-based learning. So our vision, so we believe that families should be at the centre of policy making and be empowered to become integral to their child's early learning and development. I think we have some parents in settings that are better than that. Some parents will, we hope we've all sort of seen them, they'll fly into the setting, sort of throw the child almost over the gates and run away as if we're quite scary people. But I'd like to think, obviously, in early years we're quite friendly people. We have those parents that we're trying to catch and say, please stop and talk, because your child's done something fantastic, I'd like to share it with you, I'd like to talk about it. And they're very busy, I'm going to go. Early years is too sort of light and fluffy, especially dads. When I sort of worked in settings, would have dads that would make a beeline for me, thinking, yeah, there's a man there, there's a boy there, I'm going to go talk to him because Mrs. Daisy over there is far too fluffy and flowery, so I'm going to avoid that and not get roped in, because I don't want to come and help. They always think it's parent volunteers and things like that, but yeah. So we have those parents that are scared and run away. But also, we have those parents that sometimes we're quite busy as well, and we're trying to sort of get on with things, and those parents that actually want to spend a long time talking to us, and they're just as important, and they're very willing to help and share, and sometimes overshare. So it's that balance of actually getting parents to engage and be very integral, but sort of not be there before we're there and after we're there, which some parents are sort of like as well. So yeah, so learning through play. So what do we all think counts as play? So individually, we can sort of talk about it as well. It's, what are your childhood memories of playing? How did you feel? What were you doing? Who were you with? And where were you? And looking back, do you think that you were learning or developing anything through your play? So we'll start at the top. So anyone can sort of speak out, we're very interactive. So what are your childhood memories of playing? So who would like to tell us? Yeah? Oh.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay.
I just love being outside with my friends, and we used to be on our bikes and we'd throw our bikes down and we'd go and get sticks and we'd make bow and arrows and just kind of just make it up as we went along, running around, chasing around after each other, just jumping off things, climbing up things.
So doing what you wanted, being physical.
Just making sure we were home for our dinner.
Yeah.
Or when it went dark.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So that's what you think of when you think of playing and when you were young. Anybody else got anything similar?
Creating stories for me, and being outside creating plays and stories.
Yeah. So creating stories, thinking, making your own ideas, making your own links. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So being creative.
Yeah.
Lovely. Any other sort of anything different? So they're quite similar, which is great.
Just having that freedom.
And
only going home when you were hungry.
Yeah, yeah. So similar again. So actually, when it's tea time or dinner time, I'm going to get home. Yeah, lovely. So yeah. So how did you feel? How did people feel when they're sort of thinking back to what playing means to you? How did you feel?
Happy.
Happy. Yeah. Confident. Yeah.
Motivated.
Motivated.
In control.
In control. So it was your way, wasn't it? You sort of led what you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, without adults interfering, I think.
Yeah.
Quite often, like,
Yeah.
just like to being away from adults to do your own thing, didn't you?
Yeah. Doing your own thing.
Yeah.
It's like when my friends used to be a little bit naughty sometimes, thinking if there was a grown up there, they wouldn't let us do what
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything bad. You know, we look back and it wasn't anything bad. But
So perhaps making a pact in your friendship, like, don't tell mum, don't tell auntie, don't even tell big sister sometimes.
Like climbing up things that are a bit too high and get on it and don't, and we just jump off it.
Yeah. So no risk assessment now. So who were you with in these, in this freedom, in this making your own mind up, in that confident time? Who were you with?
My friends and me, they were just kids that lived in the street.
Yeah.
And occasionally somebody from school would like venture on their bike and we'd meet up in the middle.
So community people from your street, friends, neighbours,
Siblings.
Cousins.
Yeah.
siblings, cousins. So people that you saw a lot. And was it people, so sort of no adults then, probably. So just children of different ages, all sort of coming together. Yeah? So not all 2-year-olds together. Not all 3-year-olds together. So yeah, so all together.
And there was always somebody that would lead, because we always would, for bonfire night, they would just, the whole community would be collecting wood to go on the field to build. But it was the older children that would be building it, and you'd be contributing to building the bonfire.
Yeah.
And that was without any adult intervention, but obviously then when it was bonfire night, yeah, they were
Yeah.
pretty sure that
So
we-
working together
Yeah.
and sorting it out yourself.
Having a leader.
Yeah, collaborating. So following someone's lead,
Yeah.
but actually still working together and not being told what to do. Having a go. Yeah. So looking back, what were you learning? What do you think? What was happening? What were you doing? What development might have happened? Life skills.
Communication.
About taking risks.
Yeah. So taking risks, independence, life skills,
Confidence.
confidence.
That sort of teamwork as well.
Teamwork.
Listening to each other and communicating,
Yeah.
listening.
So lots of
yeah.
social then.
Lots of social
Yeah.
interaction,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't think about that
At the time.
That's
No,
not-
because you're just doing your thing, aren't you? You're just having a go.
It's a
Yeah.
sense of achievement as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And self-esteem.
Look at what we've done without mum or dad. Or this is what, yeah, and it's just that freedom I heard someone say earlier as well. But negotiation skills. So you're saying that actually following a leader and that teamwork, there might have been some squabbling probably. No, I want to be in charge. You know, these 2-year-old girls like to be in charge, don't they? Quite a lot. These toddlers. But actually sorting out who is in charge and negotiation skills. So it comes back to that life skills. All really important stuff. So yeah, so I'm glad that you've all sort of said that, because that's what I was hoping people were going to say. Because to me, it's exactly the same. A common theme that came up, sort of when you're defining play and what your childhood memories might be, I think almost everybody was outside. It wasn't, yeah, it might be sort of inside a rainy caravan doing sort of Lego bricks on holidays with your sibling. That's probably a happy memory as well, but most of it is outside, climbing trees, jumping across streams, going maybe where you shouldn't be going or not, and maybe going a bit further than what you were probably allowed to, but playing outside with your neighbours on the street, being away from home, coming back when you're hungry, sort of, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I was very much like my mum, quite scary sometimes. She would say, you can go out, but you come back when the street lights come on. So, and what time was that? Because that could be
Very late in the summer.
it could be 10 o'clock
Yeah.
at night, it could be 4 o'clock, it could be... So we actually had no concept of time. It was just free, wasn't it? And like someone said that. And just, not a plan, not a learning intention, not an outcome. All that just happened because we were just doing and we were sort of making our own mind up. So yeah, so lots of negotiation happening, lots of social skills, lots of physicality. We were sort of only coming back to eat now and then. I remember sort of coming back, really hungry. I was like, wait there, don't go on the tree sprinkle, come back, I need to go home because I need the toilet and I want something to eat. So I'm going to race home as fast as I can, have a sandwich, sort of give myself indigestion, throw it down my neck and really, really rush and then straight back out. I wasn't sitting very much. I wasn't really still ever, I don't think. It was bikes, it was scooters, it was tree swings, but it was freedom, and I think that underpins, it's that freedom, it's that making choice. Yeah. So yeah, so lots of similarities there, which is, so that's, yeah, I think that defines play, true play, and child-led play without, like you were saying before, being interfered by adults, all that intervention. So, characteristics of play, so we'll sort of go through this again. So actually, probably similar to what we've just said, but what words would you use to describe play? So if you think of play in one, how could you sum it up in one word? So we'll just, anyone can sort of shout up and speak up. So when you think of play, what one word comes to your mind?
Fun.
Fun.
Exhilarating.
Fun, exhilarating, a big word at the back there. That's fine. Fun, exhilarating.
Loud.
Loud? Yeah, play shouldn't be quiet, should it? There's no quiet room, or there's no, it's as loud as it is.
Free.
Free, exploring,
Choice.
excited, choice,
Risky.
risky, yeah. Depends who you're with, doesn't it? But yeah, risky. So yeah, so they're very open words. I remember, this is a play memory of mine, where actually I was with our dad, and even though he was a grown-up, and obviously our sort of true memories of play are sort of very much in our community of sort of friends and children, he was always very sort of liberal with us, and we always heard that story of wait till your dad gets home, or with us it was mum was the scary one, so it was like, don't tell mum that you're having that extra chocolate, or don't tell mum that I've bought you that, or I've taken you there, or don't tell mum that I'll let you go to the park on your own because she'll go mad. And she was a scary one, she was the real boss, I think, in our family growing up. But yeah, it was definitely fun and free, and we had that with our dad, and I think for me, I actually learned quite a lot from him. Going into a childcare career, being a male, which is definitely not the norm, about actually how to engage with children and take a step back and not let children sort of make choices, let children do it. And we all will step in too soon because we all care, and I think when we work with children it's very much like we forget that freedom, we forget that noise that should be there. We're just like, it's inside, it's quiet time, it's circle time, it's inside voices. Get down from there and not risk assessed it. No, we're not going to put the steps out on this slide because it's raining and you might slip. All that. Because we realise that actually we can get in trouble. It's quite important stuff to make sure things are safe for our children. But I think we sometimes get lost in that and actually forget what play is. And I think it's always an important exercise to come back and define play and sort of think about what play is and what play should be. So you've used, so actually we'll jump back again a little bit. So you've used words to describe play, so can someone give me a definition of what play might be? It might be one word, it might be two words. We've thought about what play is to us, it's free, it might be liberating.
How a child develops.
How a child develops.
How a child learns.
Yeah, that's quite a good definition. Yeah, I think we'll use that one. So we've not used any of the words in the definition of what play is that we've used to describe play, but to me it's how a child learns, that's definitely it, and develops. But yeah, I think we can describe play as being free, open, access, and I think we can actually define play sort of in that way and use that in the definition. So it's open to interpretation, but we're all on the same page with that sort of openness and being outdoor. Having that freedom and children choosing, making choices, definitely. So, a little bit deeper, can an activity have the characteristics of play but not actually be play, do you think?
Well, it depends who you're asking, if it's the child.
Yeah, if the adults too
Yeah.
controlling of that, then it's
Yeah.
not really play.
So if I ask you then, can an activity have the characteristics of play but not actually be play, what would you think? Yeah? It can be geared up to look like play and be designed to be play, but is it actually play?
Like a forced fun.
Yeah? Yeah? So that actually links into my notes here, so it's like you've read them. So are children actually playing? Or
Manufactured play.
are they being compliant?
I don't know.
Yeah, so manufactured play. Just interacting with the environment, going through the motions a little bit, without being actually truly engaged or stimulated. Would probably happens quite a lot, doesn't it? Children are getting on with it in the playroom, in our outdoor area, and we might not, unless we stop and take a step back and look and truly observe, are they truly playing, actively engaged and stimulated, or are they just doing the normal things with the pleasure that they should be, do you think?
I think it's almost like they're saying about compliance, and if that child's afraid to move on, if maybe if they fail at something, I'm quite comfortable and secure just staying where I am. So I'm just going to carry on with that activity every day as I come in, maybe. So
Because this is what we do here?
yeah, this is what where I feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
But I'm not able, I don't want to take that risk of being challenged or being
Or turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to, it's also like looking at the children and where they're coming from. isn't it, I think?
I'm not quite sure because there's so many boundaries sometimes.
Yes.
Am I allowed to do that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So being clear enough actually that the children have that freedom, have that chance to, an opportunity to make choices within our settings. If we think we've all defined play really well and thought about our experiences, but how can we offer that within a setting while still being compliant? And that's us being compliant, not children being compliant with actual regulations and standards that we have to do, and we know why they're important. But yeah, how can we get that freedom, get that choice, get that experience? How can we offer that? It's difficult, isn't it? It's definitely a balance. So play is nothing new. So Bruegel's painting here of children's games. It's what do you think when you see that painting, when you see that image? Obviously it's not the true beauty of the image, it's definitely taken and sort of being projected again. But what do you see? What comes to your mind when you see that?
Community.
Yeah.
Engagement.
Engagement. How it used to be, I heard someone say. Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah. All these children are really busy, aren't they? Playing. It's really, really important work that they're doing. They're active. I can see children engaging. I can see children being social. Definitely children being physical.
And grouping as
Small
well.
groups,
And,
yeah.
you know,
Coming
there's
together.
A lot going on. They're still having that space to.
I can't see someone there with their arms folded and a whistle because there might be some water nearby or something like that. Yeah, or even that. So yeah, it's very free, isn't it? So yeah, so just talking about the painting more, it's definitely not anything new. It's not a 20th or 21st century phenomenon. It's the message behind that, I think we've definitely got that just from sort of thinking about it for a short time, is that it's children's games are as significant as the activities or work of their parents or their adults. So play is a child's work. I've mentioned that just before, but actually it really is, it's what they do. It's what they do best. It's their vocation, isn't it? And obviously from the painting and the play in the child's work, that view is echoed many, many years later by people such as Maria Montessori or Piaget, people that we've learned and studied and hopefully based much of our practice on. And concepts of what counts as childhood or a child have changed through time, and that also might vary across culture. The painting is a reminder, definitely to me, that play seems to have been a feature of young people's lives probably forever. Just go back to it. There's nothing modern there. I can't see any iPad. I can't see anything that we might use to engage with children now. It's just very free. I can't even see any toys, I don't think, when I look at that. It's just space and children, isn't it? Space and people. Very simple. Can't see a bored child there either.
Paul made an observation actually, which I saw and thought it did look quite violent.
Sorry, I'll put it back.
Yeah, it looked quite violent, and that's how I remember sometimes.
Brawl.
Yeah.
So quite violent.
It could be, yeah, it looks like they're pulling each other around.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So doing all those games that we probably used to. I mean, I remember when I was at school, and we used to do sort of dodgeball,
Yeah.
and get things thrown at us. Quite violently, probably a little bit,
Still
but
doing scouting.
we're all alright, aren't we? Yeah. We're all okay, and we were probably quite resilient
Yeah.
because of it, wasn't we, really? But yeah, I get that. So quite violent. So I remember when I was at school. What's that, sorry?
Sorry, rough and tumble.
Yeah, it's that rough housing
Yeah.
play, which I think we shy away from in practice, because we're not quite sure if we should be letting children do that in a controlled setting environment, are we? But it certainly should make us think that, can we get a little bit of that in our practice again? But yeah, I remember when I was at school, it was a very open playground, wasn't very much in it, and there was probably a fight going on in that corner, there was probably some wrestling going on over there was probably quite a stressed out dinner lady with a whistle, and I remember actually, she was always quite stressed out because somebody had fallen and cut the knee open, and it sometimes was raining, believe it or not, as well. We didn't all get rushed inside either, so we got wet, we got cold,
Yeah.
and we went back in and got warm again. So, and yeah, that's what I remember sort of playtime at school being like. Not that dissimilar probably, and not lots of adults, there was probably only one or two. I seem to remember hundreds of children and like one dinner lady, and she was known as she was stressed. but it was different. So yeah, some heavy stuff now. So children's right to play. So the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, abbreviated often to UNCRC, to which the UK has signed up. It's an international treaty, and the UK has obviously become a part of that for a long time and signed up to that. And it covers children's rights to some really key themes: life and survival, development and education, protection, and participation in society. So from that, Article 31 of the UNCRC is that every child has the right to rest and leisure, to engage in play and recreational activities appropriate to the age of the child, and to participate freely in cultural life and the arts. So that's Article 31 as part of that United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Article 31 is within the development and education theme, and within that is actually, it says to engage in play. It's a right of children. So that makes me think, if play is a right of the child, am I doing enough? When I go back to a playroom when I'm with children again, am I actually meeting that right? To allow children to play and giving children that freedom, that opportunity to choose, that challenge. Are we stepping in too soon? How do we look at conflict between children? So we've mentioned that in our conversations in the room. You said that that Bruegel's children's games actually looked a little bit violent to you at first, and we sort of remembered, hanker back to what it was like at playtime for us growing up. A little bit violent, rough and tumble, rough housing. But when right at the start of the presentation, we were saying actually that we probably negotiated. We might have got into fallouts, but there were no adults around, so we sorted that out. And actually, if we fell out, it was soon forgotten, and we just got on with it and moved on, didn't we? So we're very quick to sort of step in and sort an argument out because we want to protect. We're in the job to protect children, aren't we? Look after children, which we do very well. But sometimes, do we step in too soon? Are we allowing children to develop those negotiation skills, that personal, social and emotional development? Are we stopping that by stepping in too soon? Probably a little bit, without meaning to. But our good intentions can sometimes actually prevent children from developing and reaching their full potential all of the time. And the importance of children's views on play. So do any of us ask children about how they feel? Do we ask that? Do we take children's views into account? I hope so. Yeah? What sort of responses do we get? Sometimes we get some quite funny ones, don't we? But so when we ask children about their opinion, about their views, what responses might we get?
They don't talk about food, they get bored. But if
Yeah.
you ask them what they enjoy and what they love, they'll give you lists and lists
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah. So that actually should make a big part of our planning of activities, shouldn't it? We should be like, actually, we do follow interests. We have an interest sheet and we record everything. But actually, we have a bit of a log of children's views and write down what they tell us. A bit of a testimonials board of what children are saying to us to base our continuous provision a little bit on. That'll probably quite a fun room then, wouldn't it? It'd probably look a little bit different maybe if we based that plan exactly what they were telling us to do.
And you
But
don't have to do as much planning either.
yeah.
Because they read it and you just...
And children change their mind all the time, so it becomes much more in the moment. We're hearing this now much more, aren't we, in the moment planning? So actually, going by what they tell us a little bit more might be quite helpful for us to get our head around something changing, like in the moment planning. We're quite stuck, and we're seasoned in sort of medium, long-term, short-term planning. But in the moment, something which is taking over, and some settings are on board, some settings are taking a little bit more time. So if we ask children what they want, what they like, it becomes very spontaneous, doesn't it? A little bit silly, and we should be silly. So defining play as an adult may be difficult, as we rely on what we can observe and what we see and hear. But actually, us thinking back about our play experiences might inform the experiences that we can try and offer children, right, that we're looking after now. So the UNCRC also states that children's views about matters which affect them must be listened to and taken seriously. That's in Article 12. So it's always been there, it's nothing new, but I think sometimes we can get a little bit lost. And we all do that, don't we? So play-based learning. So play-based learning, what does that mean to any of us? How do we think hopefully we offer?
I'll do it.
Yeah? We know that play develops children's content knowledge, providing children the opportunity to develop social skills, competencies and disposition to learn. We said that right at the start, thinking about how we played when we were growing up. And play-based learning can be based on that Vygotsky model of scaffolding. So scaffolding is something which is not a new concept or term either. I think sometimes I've seen that being taken in the wrong way when practitioner daren't let go of a child's hand that's on stepping stones, because they might fall off. Of course they might fall off, and that can happen. But we can sometimes take over and pull them over the stepping stones rather than a child actually reaching out when they feel they need us. And the fun aspect of play is the ability to choose what to do, the self-initiated aspect of play. I think that's what makes it really fun, because it's up to us. If you decide to do something, you do it with a little bit more intent and gusto, don't you, than if you've been told to do something. We all sort of rebel naturally a little bit, don't we? So when children engage in real life and imaginary activities, play can be challenging in children's thinking. To extend the learning process, sensitive intervention can be provided with adult support when necessary during play-based learning. It's about supporting and not taking over, and not stepping in too soon. So elements of play. There. We've got socially interactive, active, engaging and joyful. So actually some of those words we've actually said when we think about what play is from our childhood. So it comes full circle. Play is in the middle and all these feelings and all this is happening all around it. So play or playful, the best outcome for children's learning occurs where most of the activity within a child's day is a mixture of that child-initiated play, actively supported by us, because some young children will want to do things that's beyond their capabilities because they've seen older children do it, but we can help them, we can support and actually rather than sort of redirect them. Focused learning with adults, guiding the learning through playful, rich, experiential activities. And I think it's that balance of purely unstructured play, which children would love. It would be completely chaotic in the playroom, then hard for us to manage, definitely, but great fun. and that formal teaching, which I think we feel that pressure of, don't we, all the time. So how do we feel that balance? Do we get it right? Do we struggle with that balance? What do we think of it?
Depends on the setting, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
your own personality and how tired you are that day.
Yeah.
And those things.
Yeah. So just a quote that I sort of picked out from before. Leaders and staff use a number of different terms to describe an adult's interaction and involvement with children in the space between the extremes of formal teaching and unstructured play. Leaders and staff use various terms including adult-modelled, adult-guided, child-focused and shared play to define the multiple ways in which the adult's role and how much they interact with children can shift during the course of an activity. It can shift during the course of an activity, so of course it will shift during the course of a day, like what you were saying. The end of the day can be very different to the start of the day, but also an activity can start off very differently to how it ends up, can't it? Ownership of place. Who does play belong to? Yeah, it's their thing, isn't it? So we don't have much of a right to sort of take over and control it. It's their choice. It's their right, isn't it? We said that. Yeah.
Sounds as well as adults. I like playing.
Yeah, it's
I want to
yeah.
be the kids.
Definitely. So it's definitely collaborative, but it's their thing, isn't it? And I think we shouldn't overwrite it. It definitely should be harnessed, without a doubt. The ownership of play is an interesting one. So yeah, so a bit of reflection. So we're observing play, thinking about the experience of children. What experiences are we providing children? Can team members explain why they approach play the way that they do? It might be actually we stop somebody in their tracks who's in the habit of saying, no, stop, get down, don't do that. We know those people. So actually, why are you approaching play in that way? And they might not quite know what to say. It's like I'm just telling people to get down so they don't fall. It might make that person think a little bit. As a staff team, identify what adults are doing to support children's learning through play and what might be developed further. I'm sure we could probably all do more to bring it back to basics a little bit, because we do get that bogged down, don't we, and this is what we need to do. Well, children need to play, and children learn through play, don't they? We know that. We all said how much we developed as young people without even realising it, without any direction, really. So of course I can't not talk about family, obviously they're hosting us here today, so...
Promise I didn't write this slide.
No, so family, as Early Years Alliance has got many nurseries up and down the country, and we as an organisation are using the family nursery management systems to take care of administration of our nurseries and also to get the online learning journals and complete observations, and also it's really helping us with the home links as well. Families can get an app, parents can use the app to actually comment on their children's observations, they can upload their own observations, and it becomes a lot more interactive. And I know that our nurseries are really finding the software really helpful in getting through that quite sometimes lengthy process of tracking children and assessing children. It's quite a long job sometimes, isn't it, as well? But actually, the system really does help. Like Matt said at the beginning, it helps practitioners get back to where they should be in the playroom, and it makes it a lot simpler, a lot quicker as well, and also really interactive with parents. So it captures and records children's learning experience. It's never been easier. The software means practitioners can observe and plan more efficiently and get back to being with the children like we've just said. It's online learning journal too. Observations can be quick. We can share the learning journals automatically with parents and easily make baseline assessments and make custom cohorts, applying multiple filters. And the website at the bottom there, you might be able to see it, is family.co. So please check it out. Some of you might be familiar with it anyway, but I definitely, from speaking to our nursery staff, they really engage well with it. I spoke to some of our nursery managers before I came today and just asked them what they thought of it and how they were finding it, because it's relatively recently we've become on board with and use the system sort of nationally. and they all say it just makes things a lot easier. Staff have got more time to actually play with children and provide those experiences and sort of look at children learning through play, which obviously is the most important thing. A little bit more about us, almost finished now. So we're the largest and most representative early years membership organisation in England. We're a registered educational charity, 14,000 members settings up and down the country, and we support them to deliver care and learning to over 800,000 families every year. It's a lot of people. We're information advice, with specialist publications, we deliver acclaimed training schemes, and we campaign to influence early years policy and practice. Our CEO, our chief executive, is in the news quite a lot. He's always sort of lobbying government to actually try and make a difference. And this week, even though we're on the sort of last day of the working week, we have got the Fair Future funding campaign going on. It's our action week, so please do check out our website to find out more about our action week and get on that sort of government lobby of increased funding for early years, because we're grossly underfunded out of. We've got a website, so eyalliance.org.uk, / become a member to find out more about our membership or come and speak to us. So why join us really? We've got a lot of members and we're always looking to increase our membership. And the more members we have is the bigger voice we've got to really annoy government and give them something else to think about if they've not got enough already. So membership is discount on publications. We've got an Under 5 magazine which is produced in-house. It's our magazine. Discounts on CPD, classroom and in-house training workshops. Information services and a 24-hour legal advice line called Law Call. That's what members get, free access to that as well, which is really important if there's something happening and you want that legal advice, which you can get hold 24/7. The popular membership packages are as little as £34 a year. So we're a charity, we're not for profit, and we're trying to produce and design publications and services for the early years sector which meet the needs of the members, and also directly then meet the needs of the children which our members are looking after as well. So please do come and see us, please Google us and find out a little bit more. Lovely, so yeah, we'll go back to that one there. So soon we'll be quite ready for it.